All right, and here we go. This is going to be our second edition of the Crystal Brigade, and we're having a session on how to heal others based on Marcel Vogel's work. And what I've done is I've taken some notes so that way I can try to remember the process because I'm just learning this as well. And we're all going to learn this together, and it's going to be an exciting time. So I have I have my friend here who has volunteered for this position. Because I don't have a real human, I have to get a fake one to help me out. So what we're going to do is, again, when we're working with the crystals, we want to discharge and recharge the crystal. And that, one more time, is just holding the crystal. You want to put your forefinger on a facet, put your thumb underneath, and put your other fingers from your other hand on two of the sides. Now, you want to envision clearing the crystal of any memory, and this is important to do before you do any healing session on anyone. Before you use the crystal again during any session, you want to pick it up and clear it. So another thing to note about this is very important that I learned from one of his videos is that if someone else puts their energy in your crystal, you won't be able to use the crystal anymore. It like kind of locks you out. So you want to make sure that you keep your crystals ready for your use. And I know it's nice to let someone borrow your things and let them use them. But in this instance, if they use it, they put their energetic sync to the crystal, and you will have to get them to discharge it or ask permission for you to discharge their energy from it. So anyway, we're going to clear this crystal. And we do that by envisioning clear. Now, what I do is I always think about a clear glass pane. So I do a visualization technique while I'm also thinking clearing the crystal. So here we go. We're focusing on just the pyramid top, and we inhale deeply and exhale swiftly, and we turn sides. So here we go, clearing again. Now, I do it usually about 3 times or so, but if you want to do each facet around the top, that's okay, but you test it by rubbing it to see if it's silky smooth. If it's silky smooth, then it no longer has a memory, and you're okay to go ahead and put a memory in it. Now, as you inhale your breath, you'll see that it gets really slick, but if you exhale, it gets really sticky, and your finger wants to stick to the surface. It creates friction. And that just means that the crystal is reacting to your energy. But you want to go ahead and put a memory into the crystal. So you want to envision love and wellness and healing into the crystal. So giving it feelings from your heart chakra. This is going to be very important. Also, this is like manifesting. So you're manifesting your energy into the crystal. And I usually inhale deeply, and I'm just looking at it lovingly, feeling the love going into the crystal. And then once that happens, the crystal's sticky no matter whether you're inhaling or exhaling. And that's because it's got a charge. But then you want to go ahead and start spinning it in your hand to amplify the charge that's going through your body and into the crystal. So this is like a motor. You're going to put the energy in there, it's going to charge it up, and it's going to have more electricity. Now, what you want to do is first ask the person for permission to heal them. So you say, do I have permission to help you in your healing process? And usually most people are looking for that. So they'll say yes. And at that point, you want to find their thymus gland. The thymus gland is going to be 2 fingers below the little notch that's just below your throat. So it's in between your clavicle bones and 2 fingers down. Right there is the thymus, and you can hear the hollow sound that it will make. Now, the thymus gland regulates your immune system. It is like the main brain system to operate all the functions for your immune system. And you can tap on that and hear the hollow sound and know that you're in the right location. You're going to find that on the opposite person, on the person that you're doing this for. You're going to find that location. And when you do, you're going to start counterclockwise. That means turning it to the left and going in And then once you get to you're 2 inches away from the chest of the person, that's where you're going to begin, because the etheric body starts about 2 inches or so away from the physical body. Now, there is also an energetic double body that's an etheric body that is only a ½ inch off of the body. Now, all this information comes from Marcel Vogel. And if you want to have a link to the video that describes all of this, I'm happy to share that with you because it's all over YouTube. But you want to find that etheric body, not the body double. So you're coming about 2 inches off of the physical body. And again, you're going to be all the way back here, and you're coming in counterclockwise. So even if you're approaching, you want to go counterclockwise as far as you can go. So that way, when you are turning clockwise to find the energetic sink area, you can turn your hand more like a dial. You'll have more area to turn. And that's really the reason for turning it counterclockwise first. So you go in counterclockwise, you're 2 inches away from the person's chest, and you have your hand, your opposite hand is going to be exactly opposite of the crystal, so that you'll be able to feel the energy field coming from the crystal. Now, as you start to slowly turn the crystal, you get the person to tell you where that energy field is, like when they feel something. If they start to feel something, then you stop with the crystal and you start feeling with your hand. Now, you may have to kind of look for another area too, but you want to find the area of the most energetic sensation or of most resistance. That means that it kind of feels like it has the most power, I guess. It's hard to describe. You won't know it until you actually try these methods. And so, like right here, I feel like I can feel the crystal energy beam coming through the body of this dummy. So what you do then, once you can connect, you haven't even started your breathing processes yet. But once you get this energetic connection, that's when you want to connect with the person's breath. You're going to inhale. And then as you exhale, you stop at half your breath. So you're going to have a half breath left in your lungs, and you're allowing time for the person to connect with you in your breathing. So they're going to be inhaling, and they're going to exhale, and they're going to try to connect with you on the same level. I'm sure that there's some energy. Okay, so you're in the field here with your hand in your crystal, and you're going to inhale, and then you're going to exhale to where you only have a half breath, and you're going to be waiting for the person to acknowledge that they are ready. And once they feel like they are ready, like something has energetically connected within them, then that's when you're going to breathe in synchronicity with them, like in harmony. You're going to breathe in, and you're going to start going up and down. You're breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in and breathing out. And as you do this, it's going to start building up electricity in their body. And both of you are charging your bodies together. And when you do this in harmony, it creates more power. So you're going to keep breathing in and out, and then you're going to tell them, you're going to say, okay, we're going to increase the breath, and we're going to breathe faster. And then you inhale, and you're going to exhale swiftly out of your nose. So you're going to inhale, and then snap the charge away. And what that does is it breaks up the patterns that are the distortion patterns inside their body. You're going to want to do this 3 times. So you're going to come back into their field, get back into that area where you were, and you're going to pump it up. And then you're going to snap it again. Now, remember, you're going to be breathing in synchronicity with these people. You're going to be breathing in harmony and harmonizing the breath together in and out. It's going to be very important. So that's why this is going to be a little bit more technical than the first episode that we did. because there's a lot of little intricate additions to this process. And there's also some process where we're going to actually come back in once we've cleared any kind of disturbance and disharmony, any kind of pain. Even if they're sensing it in different areas, you can keep going through and you envision these places. So we're going to go in and you start envisioning the different places in the body where this person has a distortion. You envision that place together, and you're going to snap this energy. Now let's run through this whole process in detail, because that's going to be the gist of it. That's the basic principles of what we're doing, is going through, connecting with the energy body, and then breaking up the distortion and using the breath, harmonizing with the person, and also using visualization. So I'm going to run over these notes just to make sure that I don't miss anything. So number one is you ask permission to do the healing. And then you locate the thymus gland, which is 2 fingers down from the little notch below your throat. So it's 2 fingers down, and then it's beneath the bone there, beneath the chest bone. And then you're going to place your free hand with the palm behind the person's back. So it's going to be back here, and then you're going to come in. When you come in, you're counterclockwise, and then you're going to begin to slowly rotate the crystal clockwise until the person acknowledges there's a connection, they feel something. And then you can start dialing in your hand on the behind their back too, to see if you can find the most energy that you can feel, like the energy field that the crystal is emitting. You want to find that point where it feels the strongest. Okay, so one of the most important things is to get the person to communicate what they're feeling and to acknowledge that they sense something, and to make sure they know that the breathing patterns need to be synchronized. So you'll begin slowly rotating the crystal clockwise until you begin to feel the resistance, or the person says they feel something. And then you'll be turning the crystal while simultaneously feeling for any sensations with your hand that's on the other side and in front of the crystal. And remember, it's the etheric body, not the body double, which is a 1/2 inch. We're going to be 2 inches from the person. And you're scanning with the crystal with the opposing hand up and down transverse to seek the point of resistance. That's just, if you need to try to figure out if there's another area of the body that is more in tune with the crystal, then you're going to kind of turn it up and down, but it's in front of the thymus. You can raise and lower the hand that's behind the back, but the crystal stays directly in front of the thymus. And so you can look to the left and the right and up and down. You may have to do that. If I had a real person, it would work really better at this point, and I'll try to do that in the future. So yeah, we're looking for the correct space for the physical body and the etheric body. Okay, let's move on. When the energy charge flow takes place, the crystal pulsates in the exact rhythm to the opposing hand. Now, again, what I sense when I do this method is I feel like there's heat, and I can turn and dial it like this, and it'll feel like there's more heat in a certain position than in another position. So that's what's interesting about that. I do believe that most people's sensation will differ, because I've heard everything. When I do this to actual people, I've heard it feels like an electric kind of shock, not really a shock, but like an electrical thing. I've heard heat. I've heard like just some weird sensation they can't really describe. Mine felt magnetic when I did it to myself. So you're going to get these kinds of electromagnetic sensations, is the only way I can describe it. And you really won't know it until you really try to put this into practice. So, all right. Yeah, while you're doing all of this, you're not trying to control your breathing. You're just trying to connect with their etheric body. So you're going to be kind of dialing in and tuning, trying to figure out where the best connection is. And once you establish that, that's where the magic starts to happen. So that's where we're going to start connecting with the person. Once you discover the energy flow, that's when the breathing exercises begin. Now, when you go into the body of a person and make the connection, you take one breath in and slowly release it until you have a half breath. And then you hold your breath. When you hold your breath, it's going to start building up electricity in your body. So, and I've seen this with the chi energy, Asian people who do chi build up in their body. They'll do different motions where they're like holding back their arms and then holding their breath too. It starts to build up channels in the body, channels of energy. So while you're holding your breath, the other person is trying to dial into your energy as well. And the one thing that Marcel did not describe during this process was whether the person was inhaling as well and exhaling to the level of breath that you are. There was sort of a void there that wasn't as clear as what the exact process is, like what the other person is exactly looking for. But he said that they're trying to connect with your energy and your breath at that point. So now if the person can't make a linkage with you, or that they can't connect with your energy, then you just basically you start over again. And you have to have patience when doing this work, because it may be that you can't connect with them right away. So it's going to take just some trial and error to connect with the etheric body of a person, because everybody's going to be different. I mean, the energy may be all over the place. But I do feel like, for me, it was actually fairly simple to, go in. I just began and I got to about 10 o'clock in my dial. The people usually say something. I'm starting like this, and by the time I get to about 10, they're like, yeah, there's something there. That's weird, is what they say. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. Because it's unusual. We don't normally experience these things. Okay, so if the person can't make the linkage or connect with you and the crystal, when you hold your breath, you relax, letting all your breath out through your mouth, and then inhale through your nostrils again, and slowly allowing your exhale to get half full, and try to establish the connection again. Now, holding the breath increases the charge and links to the person, which makes sense. So then you feel the charge, and the person acknowledges this. Then you begin synchronizing your breath together, inhaling and exhaling simultaneously, breathing in and breathing out together several times, while thinking the loving thoughts, peace, and well-being towards the person. Tell them to breathe in while you wave both your hands up and down together. So you're going to be doing like this, and you're going to be saying, just think loving thoughts, and you're going to be envisioning the place where the distortion is, where the pain may be, or whatever it is the person is experiencing. You're going to envision that. And then as you're breathing, you're going to say inhale, and then you're going to ask them to exhale, and then inhale one more time. And then you're going to snap that energy and you break it just like a twig. So when you got your hand like this and you're about to snap, you close the hand and you break it just like you had a stick in your hand. Okay. And you want to keep the pace of doing this motion steady. It's not too crazy fast or anything. It's just steady up and down motion of the hands while you're slowly breathing out. And then when you're ready for the next phase, you tell them peace be to you. So peace be with you. And then may your mind, heart, and spirit become one. This is what Marcel would tell people. May your mind, heart, and spirit become one. And you're doing this process again. And when their body, now I felt this when I was working with the crystal on healing myself before that last session that we had. I felt my body start to just sway while I was standing. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So that is an energetic flow that is resonating through the crystal too. So you're resonating as one, and you'll notice this. I mean, you might sway left and right, but I was started swaying kind of forward and back. And I found that kind of interesting because he said that would happen. And when your body begins to sway and link to the vibrations, you go to the next phase. And the next phase is we're going to be working with the chakras area. So in this area, in this general area, in the heart chakra area. And we're going to rotate the crystal in a clockwise direction and having the opposing hand mirror the movements. Okay, so we've still got the crystal here in the thymus kind of area, but then we're going to slowly start to rotate the crystal around the thymus and close to the heart, just in slow, small circles. And as we go, we're going to increase the tempo and we're going to increase the intensity of our voice. We're going to say, okay, we're going to inhale. We're going to exhale. And on the next one, we're going to snap the energy. So we're going to go around and around and around, and then we're going to inhale and snap. We're going to pull that energy right on out, and you're going to do that 3 times. So you go back in and make sure you kind of dial into the same position that your finger was before. Your finger is pretty much going to act like the hands on a clock. Wherever it was before, try to get that same area, and you're just going to go in again, and you're going to start circling, rotating quickly. You're going to ask them to inhale and exhale swiftly out of the nose, and you're going to break that. You do that 3 times, and that's going to break up that distortion again. So the next thing is we got to replace all of this void that we've created with love. And now what we want to do is we want to, we go into simultaneous act of voice, intention, and pulling with the free hand and snapping the energy with the crystal, that you break up the pattern that is locked into the bone, the tissues, and the psyche of an individual. You shatter the pattern of the past is basically what you're doing with that. So you repeat the process 3 times, and that usually clears the entire area. Now we have to close the healing process. Once the area is cleared from ailments, then it's time to start the closing and healing process. Begin by placing the crystal in front of the person and the other hand behind them in opposition. So again, we're coming in like this. The hand holding the crystal and the opposing hand will now move up and down opposite. So you're going to be kind of coming up and down the chakra points that are on the torso, and the hand is going to be doing just the opposite. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to be sending good energy towards the person. You're going to be wishing them well. You're going to wishing them love, peace, happiness, joy, and healing. So you're moving your arms up and down just like this, moving the energy through the body. We're clearing up everything now, and it's closing off all of the healing that we did. And then, let's see, while you're doing that, you tell the person to breathe in and then envision clear white light while thinking well of themselves. So you want to tell them they have to also be a part of this process. It can't just be all you, because it's really their energy that they're clearing up. So you tell them to breathe in again and to become one with their body, mind, and spirit. And you keep alternating your hands up and down until you feel their body completely relax. It's going to be important. So all of this stuff is going to be a process. It may happen quickly or it may take a while. So you may be doing this for as long as it takes, just until they start to relax and feel comfort. Now, holding the crystal, pointing, if they have another major disturbance, if there's something that's still not clearing, this is what you do for a major disturbance, and that's going to be clearing all the chakras. So we're going to start again, where the hand is going to be behind the person. And you're holding the crystal close to them. And then free hand is back behind them. And it says it starts down low. So you're going to circle clockwise. With the crystal is always going in the clockwise motion, never counterclockwise. You circle the crystal clockwise in a broad oval that encompasses all of the 7 chakra areas, while the opposing hand alternates the up and down motion. So again, we're going to be like this, and it's going to be like this huge oval kind of thing like this. And this is spiraling energy, is what Marcel said. He said that this motion is going to be spiraling the energy through the body and clearing up things. Okay, let's see what else we got here for the note. You do this 2 or 3 times and then spiral inwards towards the thymus, and you slow down your spiral rate. So you're slowing it down and you're starting to spiral in. The hand is back here opposing the crystal. You're slowing down, and that only at that point are you to ever touch the person, you know, during this process. So you're placing the crystal at the thymus gland and simultaneously putting your hand on the person's back, and you're going to palpitate the skin to see if the person's skin, it should be very, very soft and supple. Very like the healing process. If the healing worked, their skin will be very, very palpable, very supple. And as you hold that, you want to wait until the point that the person's completely relaxed, and also that the skin starts to come back into where it has a little bit of resistance. So that's it in a nutshell, but it's kind of a lot. Yeah, so and really the breathing at that point is just breathing in and out gently. You're not trying to synchronize or do anything. Yeah, and he says that the final expression of love, you want to give the person a hug. So you just want to say, you know, wish them well, give them loving thoughts, and tell them peace be to you. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But we can go through it again if you want to together, or if you guys have questions, because it's kind of a lot, but also it's not. Once you get all of the different techniques down, it kind of becomes like, okay, yeah, it makes sense now. So you're coming in counterclockwise, 2 inches from the person's thymus. You start to dial in. You have your other hand behind the person opposing the crystal. You're dialing in, and once you get to a point with the crystal, you want to start dialing with the opposite hand, feeling for the point of maximum resistance, or the point where you feel the most energy flow coming through the body. Now, right here, I feel something coming through. Even though this is not a live person, I feel something coming into my hand. So at that point, that's when you would start the breathing process with the person. You would inhale and then exhale halfway, connect with the person's energy, and then start breathing together in harmony. Breathing in, breathing out. And you're moving that energy up and down the chakras, moving it up and down, moving it up and down. And you're breathing in, you're breathing out. And yeah, so it's kind of straightforward. I know this stuff is kind of new. It's kind of new for me too, like doing all these ovals and stuff. I wasn't used to that for the first part, because healing yourself is a little bit different. Did you have a question? Yes, for pets, it can be used for pets. You can actually use this. It doesn't always have to be on the thymus. If someone has a issue with the knee or the leg, you can also help them there in that area. But the thymus is for the immune system, and it connects to all the different etheric parts of the body. So I do know Dan Willis actually expressed that he helped the man on the airplane ride after he was given a Vogel crystal. He helped the man who was I guess he was an athlete of some sort. He had a knee injury on the plane back when Dan was going home from Marcel's. And he said, well, I've been given this gift. And he said, you know, can I help you with your knee? Can I help you try to relieve the discomfort? And the guy said, yes. And Dan was able to help the guy. And he said it blew the guy away because he was telling everybody when he got off the plane, he was like, hey, that guy just healed my knee, you know? And it does work. It will heal the pain because I've done it to myself. So, yeah, I wish I had a real person, because then we could get some real results and get some reactions and stuff. But I hope in the future that I'll have a volunteer to assist with this entire process, because it's kind of interesting, honestly. And you'll learn more if you have someone, because you'll both be able to feel the sensations, feel like how far away or how close, and you know what areas. Like, I know people are going to be different. So is it going to be up here for this person and down there for that person? You know, all these different little intricacies for the process is just, you know, I'm ready to discover. It's all I've got to say, because Marcel was amazing, and I wish he could be here to teach us all. But I want to carry the torch forward into the future, because I do feel like this is going to be important, and especially in this day and age when weird things are coming out, you know. I don't know about you, but I'm right now, I'm honestly a little leery of the med beds that may be coming out by the cabal, because they want to, okay, so think of it this way. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this in this video because I believe it's kind of important to think about. Think about it this way. They've got to inject people with the microchip somehow. How are they going to get a microchip in people to connect with all the other things, the internet inside you? How are they going to connect? I mean, it's going to be, you know, possibly by luring people into the med beds. I don't know. I question these things, you know. I want to see what happens when they say that these med beds are out, when we already have Rife technology out. You know, we have different energetic machines that can detect fields and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I saw that the swab is possibly that whole insertion thing, but I don't know. I don't really know. What's the question? Let me see. Does the size of the crystal matter? No, the size of the crystal does not matter. Now, I work with the larger ones because I like the size. It fits in my hand really nicely. And it's hard. Right now I'm trying to find more that are this size, and I can't. I guess, you know, with all of the embargoes and stuff, whatever's happening offshore, I don't know what's happening, but a lot of shipments are not making it to port, and so a lot of things are getting held up. But the size of the crystal will not matter. This is one thing that Marcel Vogel stated constantly. The only thing that matters is that it has a natural tip. So that way the natural flow of energy from the crystal that came from the earth has its original state. Because man-made crystals, the ones that are cut and polished and have even facets and everything, you don't know if that still has the matrix, the proper C matrix that's in the middle. That's why I recommend getting a natural one, because you can see that it still has a natural tip. It has all the natural inclusions on the inside, and it may be broken on the end, but he said that's fine. You know, that's not going to disrupt it at all. It may not be perfect, but it'll still work. It still flows the energy straight through it and out of the tip. Yeah, so I mean, because I've seen those that are kind of cut and they have the exact same sides, you know, and it's all polished and looks pretty, but you don't know if it could be going this way, you know, it could be going horizontally. Yes, James, you had a question?
Yeah, sorry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the car. Sorry. Sorry about that. So I don't have my, I'm in the dark, so I don't have my camera on either. But anyways, I have like a couple of crystals that I bought at a store, and I tried to test them to see if, you know, if they were sticky and had a charge in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both sticky. And I can't get any charge. I can't get the charge out. So I guess I just need to get rid of those, right?
It may have someone else's memory in it, because I've noticed that too. I let someone play with my crystal, and now I've got to ask her to discharge my crystal because it won't release the charge fully. I'm like, okay, I need to get her back over here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I bought these at a store. I bought them at a store, so I mean, I don't know who might have charged them up or what. I don't know. So
yeah, and you don't
it,
know. I mean, they may have not even known what they were doing. They could have just been holding it and just sneezed, or it doesn't even matter. I mean, I'm sure it had to be like a burst of energy, and you know,
uh,
you should be able to feel the
okay.
difference though. I don't throw them away just yet. You know, if we ever get together at a meetup or something, then maybe bring them. We can test them together just to see, because it will get
Okay. Yeah,
really silky smooth, you know, if it clears itself.
sounds good. I'll hang on to them.
Yeah, don't throw them out. They may look good just hanging around anyway.
I have a question, Ellen.
Yes.
So the one that I got, I bought at a shop that sells this type of stuff, and the lady said, based from the inside of it, that it was a healing crystal, but it looks like it has been cut and polished. It's got a flat bottom.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's not gonna work, or?
You can test it out. It just depends on the C axis. That C axis is important. It's like part of the matrix of the crystal. And
I
that,
mean, when I discharge it, I do get the smooth feeling, and then when I charge it, I get the sticky feeling. But
okay. Well,
yeah,
then
maybe I need to watch your first video again.
yeah, just try it. I mean, if it feels like it's discharging and charging, then it must be functioning in some regard. But you just aren't sure though if the point is the actual tip. You know what I'm saying? Like for Marcel's crystals that he cut, he made sure that that C axis was precise on both ends, and if they weren't, he'd toss it. Now these natural ones have the C axis coming through straight up and out, and you know it doesn't really matter because it's going to go in the palm of your hand. And he said that it will work, but he liked to have his as perfection. And I would say just hold on to it and maybe try it with other people, and then see, you know, what the results are. See if you can get any good results with it. Because as long as you're putting love in there, it shouldn't hurt anything or anyone. Okay, how long would an ounce of crystal normally? An ounce? You mean how long would an ounce? You mean how much, or I don't know. Oh, question to Melanie. Okay, I bought a Marcel Vogel crystal in Roswell.
Yeah, so mine's only like 3.2 ounces, and that's a distortion to hold it up to the camera. But
Now, did you buy that? You bought that in Roswell, you said?
I did at Eclipse. They have a lot of natural quartz as well. But when I mentioned that we were going to do energy work and based on Marcel, they were like, "Oh my God, we have these!" And then they just got all excited. They had just got some in. They brought them out, and they were all like wrapped, like every little tip was wrapped. And
Yeah. Now,
but they had some really expensive ones, and I was like, "Nope, I'm a beginner."
yeah.
And I was like, "And that's an investment." So
And that one, that size. So how much was that? Because I've seen the real ones and they're not very big.
yeah,
The
this
ones-
this was $60, and I was also drawn to one that was like $80, and my daughter was like, "Just get the $60."
Yeah, those are. I'm just going to say those are knockoffs. The real Marcel Vogel ones are absolutely clear.
Yeah.
Most of them are absolutely clear. They have no inclusions, and they cost about $850, and they're only about 2 inches big. That's at the Karen Kabbalah Center. There's only like a few places. There's certain places that have the legitimate ones. Now, according to Dan Willis, he said, you know, even the knockoffs will work, but Whether the C-axis is precise or not, who's to know? Marcel had equipment to be able to tell all of this stuff. But, I would probably buy one like that too, just to try to play around with it. It'll be interesting. Now, you guys let me know what you find out, what you discover when you play around with your crystals. That's what I want to know. Like, I want to set people into the world and let's go experiment with people and animals and plants and everything like that. And then let's come back and let's have discussions. So that way we can try to figure out, we need to have all the notes. Since we don't have Marcel here to kind of assist in this process, and it's kind of a learning curve for us, then, I say we just experiment and do some of these processes and then go out and, do it and then come back and let's reconvene. Everybody that wants to be a part of this, let's share information. It's called research and development. But yeah, this is, for me, it's fascinating. I mean, when I healed myself about a month ago, I guess, it blew me away because my back pain it was instantly gone. And I was like, okay, people, this is real. And when you find out for yourself, because I'm my own biggest experiment, when you find out that things work, you get excited and you just want to go experiment with other people and help other people. That's what we're here for, right? I mean, let's get the information out in the world. I'm not the foremost authority on this. I'm just learning. I can't seem to find anyone that teaches this kind of stuff. So Marcel teaches for free on YouTube. Hey, let's everybody learn. Let's go out in the world and see what we can do to heal things. Because gosh, we need a lot of that. What do we got? Able to get rid of pain out of my knee. Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what it's about. Healing body parts, healing others. Let's just see. Has anybody got questions or comments? Anybody else tried this from the last brigade meeting? Because yeah, we need input. So anything, just start taking notes too. If you think you might not remember the next time we connect, then jot it down, write it down. Let's share, let's explore. It's really about your intention, but the crystal is a tool. The crystal amplifies your intentions, and we're going to get good enough to where we can levitate objects, just like Marcel did. Yes, Marcel did that, but it also works with your pranayama, your breath. Now, he was doing Kundalini yoga when it was during his time where he was experimenting with plants and learning the consciousness of plants. He also spent time in India, and he learned that breathing with the plants and doing things with plants had an effect with his breath. And so he brought that knowledge into the crystal realm of IBM and the technology there, and experimenting and learning about the crystal. Well, it was amazing that he actually, as a scientist, started thinking about healing people as a process with the crystal, because I know what the crystal can do. Again, it's about your intentions, and we need this to be in the good hands of the people, not in the bad hands, because this thing in the wrong hands, yeah, I mean, it might not be so good. But he also had mentioned at one point in time on the crystals that he made, he would make them to where if anyone used it for anything other than love, it would crack, like the whole thing would crack. And I'm like, that's pretty amazing. But see, it's all about putting your consciousness into something. Whereas too, with Franz Barden, who wrote the Initiation into Hermetics books, he mentioned that in your magical practice, when you want to put your intention and your energy into something, creating sort of a tool or a magical object, you don't let anyone else touch that object. That is your tool only. And if someone else touches it, then the energy gets removed from it and the abilities of that object disappear and cannot be restored, which I found interesting, because it seems like this world is about energy. And, if you have your intentions to put it back in, it seems like it would work, but according to him, it doesn't. Marcel didn't seem to have that problem, except for when someone else uses your crystal and they put their consciousness in it, then that's when you're not able to use it anymore until they release the energy from it. So maybe that, I don't know. It'd be interesting to have those two people in the same room talking to each other, trying to work it out. Because, yeah, I don't know. Everything's about consciousness here. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Well, and what time is it? It's only 8 o'clock. Wow, we only did an hour. I mean, we can go over the whole thing again if you guys want. I am going to be, again, breaking down these processes into little increments. That way you don't have to go through an hour-long video to try to figure out what part it was that you missed or forgot. So we'll have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then, you know, going through, break it up, make it simple. Yeah, I think this is good though. It'd be nice to have a human. Sorry, guys. I didn't
I'm gonna try to heal my knees like James.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have a
I'm
knee?
gonna go back and watch the previous one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you, it works. It works. It works. It works. The other one's interesting because you're visualizing things inside the top of the crystal instead of trying to dial in and do all this stuff like I did a few months ago. I was like, oh, let me dial this into myself. I mean, it's kind of hard to get your hand over in this angle, you know, and try to turn it and stuff. So Marcel just teaches you to discharge and charge crystal, and then you're looking at the little pyramid part and envisioning things, and then envisioning your body, and it's fascinating because it works. I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing, actually. But amplification tool, like a laser pointer, I kind of like that.
Does it work if, like you've had surgery? Like I ruptured my quad in March and I had surgery and I'm still recovering from it.
Oh,
Is it going to work on that since it's, I mean, it's not all natural. It was actually, you know, somebody else in there fixing it.
yeah. Well, now I don't know if it'll spontaneously heal like surgery and stuff, like, and just undo what's been done, but I'm not saying that it can't be done. You know, I do kind of feel like it's the consciousness of the people involved in the healing process, whether it's you and the another person or us in general. Like, it's been my idea from reading different books, and especially the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. That's why I say, you know, people go out and read this book. I feel like because our consciousness is ever evolving and expanding, that we get to a point where if we incarnate into a physical form, we may look human, but we have higher capabilities. Now, we've heard about this in different areas of the world where, you know, people have telepathy or telekinesis abilities or clairaudience, clairsentient. There's all these different abilities, but they're like enhanced to the point where this person can do a lot of things, like move things with their mind or just astral project at will. You know, these are the different abilities. Now, in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it talks about when Thoth was astral projecting out into the cosmos, he saw different worlds where different versions of men were, and they were creating. There were low states of consciousness planets, kind of like this one. And then there were higher states of consciousness planets where they were able to create with their mind alone. They did not need their hands. They didn't need physical objects. They would just sit in meditation and things would begin to form in front of them. Now, we do know that the monks in Tibet are able to do things with their mind, that they actually have levitation capabilities. And I've read about the tulpas that they can create. And the tulpa is basically a golem or a being, and it looks real to the touch and real, you know, 100% around, except they don't speak. And, you know, it's very, very strange. Very odd tales come out of Tibet And if you research, you will find some of the oddest tales. But our reality is not what we're told. And that's why at the meeting for the Northwest group this past weekend, I actually brought a book by Charles Fort. And it was the collection of works by Charles Fort. And that was a book that was recommended by Jordan Maxwell. And the book is about all of the documented strange anomalous events that have happened around the world. Everything from raining fish to raining blood to, you know, just very, very odd things. One of the stories in there was about in California, and I don't remember the year, they had boulders that were falling from the sky in slow motion. And it was documented and written in the local papers that all these witnesses saw these boulders falling from the sky in slow motion. It took several days for them to reach the ground. And when they got to the ground, it was as if they were dropped at full speed because they hit the ground and the dirt is flying up in slow motion. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine witnessing something like that? It's just bizarre. But that book has a lot of bizarre stories in it. And it's like, whoa, this is kind of weird. I'm only in the first few chapters where they're talking about it rained some substance, and when they touched it, it turns into blood, what looks like blood, and they can't figure out what it is. I mean, it just sounds gross and weird to me. So anyway, I segued off onto another subject completely, but I'll do that in my conversations. Anyway, any questions? Has anybody tried using the crystal, like healing themselves other than James? Have y'all tried healing anything or healing someone else or doing anything? Raining blood and scientists looking into it. Yeah, that if you get that book by Charles Fort, it has all the stories in there. And I even have a friend from Oaxaca, Mexico, not to get off the story of the crystals and all that stuff, but I have a friend from Oaxaca who had a neighboring town where they would have the raining fish syndrome. And she said, she was talking about how this person that she knew talked about it would rain fish in the same area every year. And so this one person thought they would be sly and go purchase the property where the fish would rain in the same place every year. Well, it happened when it came back around to where it's raining fish, it didn't rain fish in that property. It rained fish on the neighboring property. So the person was out of luck as far as collecting all the fish for themselves. It's an interesting story. You hear this kind of stuff everywhere, but people don't believe it, you know. Yeah, I feel like what we have is a dimensional reality that we really haven't tapped into. And if you want to tap into your dimensional reality, start doing Kundalini yoga. If you start doing Kundalini yoga, but you have to be ready for whatever happens. You really have to be open and not afraid, because there's things that will start to happen to you that may scare you. You'll start to awaken the energy inside your body. And it's through the breathing and through body motions that this starts to happen. Now, when I started doing Kundalini yoga and having sensations, I was also doing sun gazing, full body earthing, and I was practicing pranayama stuff, a few times a week without the Kundalini yoga part. But I would do the Kundalini once a week, and I started having lucid dreams, and I started feeling the energy rising from the base of my spine to the back of my neck, and playing with that energy like a little kid. So yeah, these are the things that we can do. There's also a really good book if you want to learn how to astral project. There's a good book, and it's called I forgot the name of it. It's by William Bowman, B-U-H-L-M-A-N, Bowman, William Bowman. I believe it's Adventures Out of Body, or I can't remember what it is exactly. But if you look up William Bowman, I think he's one of the only ones that talks about the astral projection stuff. That teaches you the different methods that you can do. Like one is where you wake yourself up about 2 or 3 a.m. and you move to another room to go to sleep. So you'll move to the sofa or you'll move to an extra bedroom and you sleep in a different place, but you always sleep kind of propped up on a pillow. Kind of, if you're kind of upright, then you won't fall asleep completely. If you sleep completely flat, you pretty much just go to sleep and will sleep the rest of the night. But those are interesting tactics to use to start to experience different things if that's what you're into. I know I'm always into different weird things to see what my body can really do. Oh, okay. That's okay if you got disconnected. It's fine. We're recording this and it will be up on YouTube in a few days. I'm kind of busy right now. I'm painting a sign and doing some other stuff for people. So I'll be busy for a little bit, but I will be posting this up and I will announce that once it's posted. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Well, if nobody has any questions, we're going to go ahead and close this session. And I look forward to you guys letting me know, what kind of experiences do you have? Once you go out, just go use your crystal. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel embarrassed. Ask people, to help you in your process. Say, hey, I'm just learning about this stuff and I just want to try this and I need some help. And if you could help me, just let me know what you feel and just get them in on it. Have fun with it. Don't think that it has to be anything serious because you're just going to try to help people. And as long as your heart is in the right place, then, everything should be fine. Good intentions are always a good results, So, yeah. Well, if nobody has any other questions or comments or anything, it could be anything really, but I'm going to go ahead and let this guy get back to wherever he came from, the dirt. And
So Ellen,
yes.
I just want to say it was a pleasure to meet you on Saturday, or what Saturday, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And I came home and ordered the Thoth book. I just
Yeah.
got it today. So I'm
Oh,
so
perfect.
excited to start reading it. And anyway, thanks for that. And your information is always great.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, it was so good to talk to you and to interact and meet and connect and
Yeah.
everybody there, it was just a blessing to be up there and sharing all the information. And that Emerald Tablets of Thoth, I'm telling you, read through it once completely and then go back through. I started like highlighting and making notes in the margins, and because it's almost like it's a riddle and a puzzle too, because he leaves a lot of open-ended questions where you're like, okay, where are we going to find this? What do we do with this? Keep in mind, it's all based on frequencies. And especially when he gives you the words of power and things to work with, just speak those words to yourself and you'll feel the resonant energy, the power in it that just starts vibrating inside your lungs and your chest. It's just amazing. There's a term in there that is Zenuru. And when you really start to vocalize that, and I'm starting to learn to put all these modalities together, if you do the yoga and the Kundalini and you're doing sun gazing and all that, you start incorporating all this stuff into one, things are going to start happening. Things are going to start, you're going to move the energy inside your body. You're going to awaken things inside yourself. This is what I've just gotten a sampling of. I don't do the practice every day, but if I did, I guarantee you I'd be hitting higher realms of something. So yeah,
Thanks.
enjoy that book. There's a lot.
Yeah, it is. I'll put the title down here so everyone can know how to find it.
Yeah, that's a good read. There's so many different books that I've explored, and the Franz Barden one, if you really want to get to know the practice. Now, magic is everywhere, and this is part of the thing that they did not ever want us to know. They didn't want us to know our own power, that we have the same capabilities that they do, but they've been subverting our magic, basically, which is our imagination. and our emotions. So when we put these things together, we start to manifest and create the world we want to see. So we really, truly need to start coming together. And I know someone mentioned it, that we need to have a meditation every week to come together and start meditating and putting out our own power and energy into the world. Because the crystal may be small, but it's mighty, and it's actually inside of us. That's where the true power is. We're like little magicians running around here casting spells everywhere, and we need to be aware of that. And we need to get it under control, because the energies are going up. And I've just noticed lately in my own manifestation, I have to be very, very careful of my own thoughts. If I get angry at the slightest thing, I manifest that fast as something bad in my life. So I really have to stay at this higher level consciously, you know. And if somebody else is engaging in a conversation where it's lower states of consciousness, I have to steer clear. I have to remind myself constantly. I'm like, okay, no, don't, because it will, the blowback is real. It's like a boomerang. And once you guys start to recognize this in your own life, that what you put out comes back to you. Like for me, it's coming back faster because I've been working with my energy and manifesting positive things in my life. That's how I'm still out here on a limb going, I still don't have a job. I'm not on unemployment. I'm like just making my way, doing whatever I got to do. But, you know, someone comes along and goes, hey, I got this project. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, because it's right up my alley. You know, doing any kind of art project is kind of right up my alley. And so I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And I just take it. And I'm like, okay, well, that was a blessing in disguise. But we can do this. We can do this. And I'm going to show you guys in this video right now how to manifest anything you need in your life. It's very, very simple. It does not have to be complicated. You don't have to go out here for 5 days and 5 nights trying to do prayers and all this stuff. It's with your own energy. So the simplest way I teach people is to feel the energy in your hands. Feel the resonant energy in your hands. And then as you feel that energy, remember what it feels like to feel joy and happiness. So you want to feel that energy, but draw it in with your breath. Bring that energy that you feel in the palms of your hand, bring it into your heart chakra. So you inhale, opening up your heart chakra, and it expands. You can feel it physically expand when you do this. And then you want to think love and joy. When you inhale love and joy, and you feel the energy just completely rise through your body and it just illuminates your body, that's when you can ask anything of the universe. I just ask for help. I'm like, please help me. As I do that, I just go, please help me. And then I'm telling you, the next day, I get a phone call. It's usually about money. It's usually like, hey, I need a job. Please help me. Breathe in, inhaling that energy, inhaling the love, and the frequency rises in your body. Usually I will get chills. That's when I absolutely know that I'm at the highest frequency. When you get chills, your vibration is going up through the roof. So keep this in mind. When you're down on your luck or there's something not going for you, just ground yourself in the moment and feel that resonant energy come up through your body, through your heart chakra. You have to pull it up and feel. Remember, use your memory to remember what it feels like to feel love, and bring that into your body. I can feel it just expand right in my central area. It just goes woof whenever I do that. And then you just ask for help. You don't even have to answer like what it is that you need help with. The universe already knows, and it's already on it, and it works every single time. The more you use this, it's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym. The more you do this, the faster it comes. And once you acknowledge it and you give gratitude for the experience, it comes faster, and then it comes faster and faster and faster. And it works but it will also work for the things that you're very negative for. If you get mad instantly and you bring your energy down, boom, that means that whatever's resonating on that frequency comes right back to you. Boom, you just drew it in with your magnetism. And that's why I wanted to recommend Franz Barden's books. He teaches you the basics about what your physicality is. His books are so hard. Now, the first exercise is to know yourself. And to know yourself, you have to be able to sit with your hands in your lap, feet on the ground, in a chair with your eyes closed, and you have to think no thoughts at all for 5 minutes for the first lesson. Second lesson, you add 5 more minutes until you can get to 1 hour of sitting with no thoughts. That is absolute control of your own facilities. That is the very first lesson. And he said, if you cannot do this, do not go to the second lesson. Now, he'll teach you all about the earth, fire, air, water within your body. And these are the things that they don't teach us. They don't teach us the elemental forces inside of ourselves, because we are the earth. We're the air, we're the fire, and we're the water. We have everything within us. And that's why we can affect everything outside of us. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. You can take your crystal and you can go affect the chemtrails. It's something else that you can do. Discharge, charge your crystal. And then when you see a chemtrail forming from a plane, you focus your energy, ground yourself. You're standing on the ground. You're focusing your energy on the chemtrail and you're negating what they're doing. In my mind, I did this on Walking Dead. We were outside all the time, and I'd be like, you know what? I don't have anything to do. I'm standing around just waiting for, them to call me to come paint something. So I was standing there and I'm like, well, I got my crystal in my pocket. Oh, there's a chemtrail. Oh, I'm going to make that thing stop. Let me see if I can do it. Well, we can do it. So I was focusing my intention on the chemtrail and I'm just thinking, stop, stop, stop. And from the point that I started my focus and up to the back of the plane, that cloud was dissipating. And I've done this again at the beach. I was like, let me just see what I can do with these clouds. It was a cloudy night at the beach a few months ago. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see if I can make an opening in the clouds. And I sat there with my intention and I'm spinning the crystal in a clockwise motion, just thinking clearing, 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 clearing. And this takes time. Remember, we live in a dense reality, slow and dense reality. But as I'm sitting there, sure enough, this big opening in the cloud happens and the stars were looking down on me would look like a smiling face. And I was like, you can't make this stuff up, I mean, go and experiment and amaze yourself, because that's the existence that's all around us. This thing that they've busied our lives with is the fake world. And we've got to reconnect with the reality that we are light beings having this experience. And this experience is nothing but a dimension and a blip in what we call time. And we can do amazing things. It's just like the Matrix. Just think of yourself. Each and every one of you is Neo in the Matrix. The Matrix is all around us. People are living in the Matrix, not aware of their own consciousness and their own processes and abilities. So you're Neo, you're in your awakening. Go see what you can do, with your own reality, using some of these little tips. For me, this is like the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do, but we will very soon. As we keep connecting with other people that have knowledge and we start putting these pieces to the puzzle back together and making it into one, we're going to find out that all these broken pieces, yoga and the chakras and all, they're all like scattered, like shards. And we have to go put them all back together. Science and spirituality are one, but they were divided a long time ago at our own demise so that people can rule over us. We are the children of Atlantis. We just haven't rediscovered ourselves yet. And that's the truth. That blood runs through our veins. So yeah, we need to come back online and let's do it together. I'm ready. I don't know if you guys are, but I am ready for this. That's why I was born for this day and age, even though I am suffering every day that I'm in this monetary system. I suffer because I'm like, what are we doing? You know, we're working for a piece of paper. Why? We give our lives, that piece of paper equals your soul, basically. And I'm getting so divergent. I'm like, I'm having to hold myself at bay with this whole idea of this reality that we have in this country. I'm like, please, I just want to defect. I want to go to a third world where everything's behind the times, no electricity, whatever. I don't care. I'm just ready to. But I know I have a purpose and I have to remind myself to just be grounded and stay here, stay in the moment, hold the line, because we've got work to do together. And it takes a village, and you are my village. We're the village people. I know, right? With the YMCA and all that. We're the real village. That's the thing. Let's do this, guys. I want to know what you can do. And I'll let you know what I can do with this. I mean, I've already given you like little blips. Go play with the clouds. Go play with the nature, you know, the water. Go see what you can do. Use your experience and your power. Just become a kid again. You know, play with these ideas and just be like, oh, if I can do this and this, what if I combined it with doing this? And just throw something else in the mix, like the dowsing. You know, you take your dowsing rods, and we should all get together and do that anyway. Go with the dowsing rods, find the locations on the earth that need to be healed. And believe me, they'll cross, and you walk away with the rods, you come back and they cross again, double checking the spot. Then I usually just take off my shoes, ground myself into the earth, take the crystal, I discharge and recharge with love. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to be the channel and the column of light, envisioning that going straight up into the cosmos, down into the ground, and feeling that energy healing coming down, beaming down into the earth. Let me tell you, I put my shoes back on and douse for that spot again, and that spot's gone. What am I doing? I have no idea, but it was done with love. So this is what I'm saying, you know. I concocted these experiments in my mind. I didn't find anybody that was doing it. I had just found Marcel Vogel years ago. And then I saw somebody dowsing. I was like, oh yeah, my dad used to be a plumber, and you know, he would douse with the rods to find the pipes that cross. I was like, well, what if I did this for the energy grids, you know, for anything that might need to be healed from the earth? And it worked. It did something. Let me see what's happening. Oh, oil, acrylic, or watercolor? No, as an artist, I do oils and I do acrylics and I do mixed media, but I also do faux finishing, high-end faux finishing, like Venetian plaster and stuff like that. And I also know how to paint signs. I'm actually currently working on a sign for a business. I'm also going to be working on, if you've ever heard of Sack of Suds, it's funny. It was used in My Cousin Vinny. It's a store called Sack of Suds. And in My Cousin Vinny, I guess they had 2 Utes tuna. Well, Sack of Suds around here has 2 Utes tuna t-shirts. And the guy also does river tubing that owns the store. He does that thing. He's got 2 limo buses. And he wants me to paint his logo and stuff on the limo buses. So I'll be doing that. I'm like, well, that sounds like an interesting project. But I just finished a mural too over in Griffin. So I did that for a pet store that's over there. And yeah, I'm all over the place. I do all kinds of stuff. There's a new store opening in town, and she wants me to have a crystal class coming up. So I'm like, oh, that's exciting. I was going to do crystal classes here at my studio, but I'm happy to go over to her store and teach crystal classes too, like crystal healing methods. So I'll be doing that there. It'll be kind of fun. But I'll be teaching art classes too, and just, you name it, I'll teach it. Whatever I know, I'll teach whatever. I also make tinctures and potions and stuff, for healing, and because I got into herbs and making different potions. I've got some like tansy extract, and I can't even tell you, I've got a whole apothecary inside my house. So that, I look for things that heal, really. I'm not interested in dark arts because that's what they've been doing to us, It's all about intentions. We're all magical, them and us, but your intentions are what considers, black magic or white magic. So yeah, okay, well, good night. You guys have a good time. Somebody's leaving. Look forward to meeting. Okay, going back. All right, perfect. Yeah, the slave world, the slave reality. Unfortunately, that's where we are still right now. I believe, 100, 200 years in the future, this world's going to be amazing. We just have to extract these people who have distorted the world. Unfortunately, they've hijacked our timeline, and they are subverting our reality. But we're going to get past it. We're going to do it together. Any questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, guys, if that's all, if there's no more questions or comments, then I'll go ahead and end this session. Yeah, everything is going to change for the better. We just have to hold the line, hold the light. We have to do it together. I know I get to where I'm kind of like, oh, it's exhausting. Going through this whole thing is just exhausting. Not knowing the outcome. Are we winning? Are we losing? We can see the people rising right now, and that's important. But we just got to keep it going. Yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna win this war. Anyhow, I guess I'm just going to close this session now. We've talked a lot about different things during this Crystal Brigade, and I will be putting out other videos as well to kind of narrow it down for all those different techniques we just did. But thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you again. All right. Good night, everybody. See you next.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.